everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie, Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie, Jessica.
At least for the next few minutes. So it is time for yet another Convincing My Bestie read. This is the series in which we see if our relationship can handle what we throw at each other for book tropes. This is where we convince the other to read a book from a list that we choose within a specific trope or genre. And today we're going to do aliens. I'm going to convince Mandy to read another alien romance because that was requested from our viewers. Mandy does not typically read alien romance, and I know she's so excited. She's thrilled. She's just jumping up and down. So let's
first,
let's talk about that.
Before we start torturing my bestie, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are doing our road to 1K giveaway, so we have lots of fun giveaways happening. So subscribe to so you can be entered into that, and then also check our Instagram. Follow us over there for an additional entry into our drawing.
All right, that's all linked down below, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready for this?
And please comment down below. Do you enjoy alien romances? Be honest. Let us know.
I mean, we got all those aliens last time.
Ooh, and another comment. This is a comment I really would love to see. What do you want us to do our next video on? So it would be me convincing Jessica. I have some ideas, but let me know what you're thinking. What would you like to see one on? And it doesn't necessarily have to be something you want me to convince Jessica to read. It can just be a trope we haven't done yet that you would like to see us do.
In the future, yeah. Okay, so also Mandy's going to be writing slowly because if you've seen our videos of the last week, you know she got stung by a bee and her hand is swollen and we both record, so this is all happening on the same day and the poor thing has a swollen hand, so.
Just for comparison, I already have kind of fat fingers. We could see just how much more swollen this hand is. So fun.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 6 recommendations and Mandy's going to choose from one, then she's going to read it, and then we'll come back and see how well she liked it.
I'm sure it's going to be my favorite.
You never know. I didn't go with any reverse harems. I didn't go too weird.
Thank you.
I mean, they're alien.
That Bigfoot book?
No Bigfoot book. That's not alien. That's
true. True.
Yeah. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So the first book that I have for you is the one that I read this week. And that is my Hot Alpha Alien Husband by D.D. Prince. Get it out now. Go ahead and laugh.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so to my knowledge, this one does not have audio because I know sometimes that's important. And you know that I would have checked, so it does not have audio. Okay, so this is about Dax and Jeddah. So Jeddah is the UN has this pilot program, or so she believes, where she can become an ambassador, and that then she gets to go to the college of her choice, paid full ride scholarship. So she goes, and they want them to be these young, good-looking girls. Like they want them to be smart and pretty, and those are the qualifications. And so she starts interviewing. And she's at this facility for all these interviews. What she doesn't realize is this facility is actually a spaceship. And she's on her way to the planet Phalanx. Phalanx. I'll say that again, guys. Phalanx. And she's part of the pilot program because apparently us humans have been to this planet before and we infected them about 4 years ago with a flu. So we took like swine flu or something up there and killed off all their women. For the most part, and they haven't had women for 4 years on their planet, so they are not able to reproduce up there. Only the men survived. Yeah. So these guys are, as far as all the alien books I'm giving you, these guys are the most human. They look human. They're just a little bit bigger. That's it. They're just taller. They're just a little bit bigger, bulkier looking guys. So she calls these guys the clipboard assholes. because they all have clipboards. They're all men, and they're like instructing them on what to expect and what's going to happen. And they're keeping things from these women who are like, there's like 36 women in this first group that are getting up there, and they don't even realize what's happening. She's the troublemaker. She's asking all the questions. And so when she gets there, they're like at this little party, and all these guys come like flooding out, like chasing after the women. And it's like this free for all. And she's like, what the hell? She runs off into the trees, and that's where she trips and falls, and she meets Dax, who has been watching her on the vids the whole time. He's not supposed to be in this first group to find a woman, but he's been watching her, and he decides that he's going to take her. Now, he already has someone who is one of their women that he has been promised to, but he does not want her. And he didn't. It was like an arranged thing. He wants this girl. He knows that she's his. So there you go. That's their story. I loved it. It was funny. There were funny parts. It was good. I liked it. Okay. There's number one. The next one. You've heard me talk about this next one before. This one's a little bit more popular, especially right now. This one is Desire in His Blood by Zoe Draven. She's gonna laugh at all of them, guys. She can't help it. This is about Gemma and Azure. Now, Azure is think vampire. Okay, so Gemma is like us. She's more human. We don't live on Earth anymore. We live on a different planet, but her dad owes a lot of money. Azure, he has a vendetta against Gemma's father, and so he buys out his debt and then he insists that like he gets Gemma's hand in marriage when he does that, and he is going to destroy her father by marrying her. So she has to marry him, come to his planet, and be his wife. Well, the thing is once he gets her, the first night that because he has to drink her blood, that's part of it. He's his fated mate, and he doesn't realize it. Like, he's going to destroy her and her family, and he doesn't realize that is his fated mate. So what happens when that's like, you can't, how you gonna do that? How you gonna do that? So there's a lot, like there's in these first two, like especially the second one, there's more plot to this than there is weird alien stuff. So they might look a little different, but there's definitely plot to Zoe's books. Okay. I promise there's plot. You look at me. I don't know if there's audio for this one yet, though. There wasn't when I read it. Okay. Then this one's a little more fun than plot-wise. Okay. Ready? I'm petting it because I'm trying to film everything. So this is Heat for Hire. This one is by V.K. Ledwig. This is about Ellie and Ren. So in this book, we have learned how to travel the galaxies. And Ellie is in her spaceship. She's going to use a wormhole to get around. And she's traveling. It's okay. Ellie has had breast cancer. And she's had, instead of having like a mastectomy, she had just the partial where they just removed the mass. And so she has one breast that's, like the chunk is missing out of it. She's got like, part of the nipple, like where she can't feel. And so it's just, she hasn't been able to have the reconstruction yet. And she's a little bit self-conscious about that. But the author, and this is the one I've told you about, where I just love how she accurately describes what that feels like. And, all of that good stuff. It's a shorter read here, but anyhow, she gets to like this wormhole kind of sucks her through, and when she gets there, she meets Ren, and all of a sudden, like, she just has like this instant attraction to him, and she feels like she's going into heat, and she's like, what is this? Well, on their planet, they have like that whole alpha omega thing, and technically she's an omega. She has to stay there for a certain amount of time because she can't get out of there until like it's just the right timing to get her spaceship through the wormhole again. So she's stuck there, and she has to stay there with him because he's technically like her fated mate. He also has very interesting penile appendages. Yeah. This one. Okay. You just keep on laughing over there. It's okay. It's all right. Okay. The next one. Did you know? I don't know if I told you this. Kay Webster has an alien romance.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew she had vampires.
She co-wrote an alien romance series with Nicole Blanchard. So this is called The Forgotten Commander. And this is their Lost Planet series. So this is book 1. And then I read like the first 4 or 5, and I need to go back and finish. I just haven't. So this is, this planet is dying. There's 10 males on this planet. And they send out these 2 males. Like the planet is like being bleached to death, basically. The suns are so hot, everything is dying. And they send out 2 males out on an expedition one day. And the only difference, really, like when you look at them, she refers to them as somewhat vampiric, but they're just really pale. And they don't like the sun because the sun is so bright. So bright. But they're very humanoid, these guys. And as you start to get into the series, you realize that there's more to the situation than what you realize as you get into it. But they're out exploring. They're out trying to find food and stuff because the planet's dying. They're losing all their resources. And they find a spaceship that had crashed or was there. And it just happens to have 5 women, like in stasis pods, 5 women that are asleep in these pods. They bring them back to their place where they're holed up, like their compound. And they realize that if they've got 5 women, they don't want to wake them up because they're not afraid. They're afraid that they don't know if they have diseases. They don't know what's going to happen if they wake them up, if they're going to kill them. Like they don't know. So they try to impregnate one of them without waking them up. Yeah, I know. It's K. Webster. But that didn't work. So that's where they end up. Bracken, I can't remember how you say his name, but he is the commander, and so he gives the okay to try to wake up one of them, and that is where we get our first heroine from. And so forgot to write down her name, but here we go. So it is K. Webster, but I did enjoy this one. Don't look at what I read these forever ago, so do not look at what I graded them, because like when I put it on Goodreads, because back then I was embarrassed about my alien romance loves. Guys, never look at what I actually rated them on Goodreads, because I was definitely embarrassed back in the day.
Well, shouldn't you go fix that?
I did fix it for one of them. I need to go back and do it. The next one. You can't have this list without having a Ruby Dixon on here. And now a lot of people just go with Ice Planet Barbarians, but she's written a lot more than Ice Planet Barbarians. So this is Prison Planet Barbarian. Okay, so this is the first book in what you would call, or she calls this 0.5 in her Rizdiverse spinoff. So this starts the Rizdiverse spinoff. But this is about Juten and Chloe. So this actually takes place in a prison. This is actually pretty funny how Chloe ended up as a murderer in this prison. So Chloe is human. She is one of the girls that was taken from Earth. And she gets thrown into this prison because she ended up killing 9 aliens with 1 fatal blow. And when you read how she did that or listen to it, because it is on Audible, it is pretty friggin' hilarious. I can't remember if it's like where she screamed or she did something and she accidentally knocked them over and they all died because they're very easy to kill, these guys. So they throw her into this prison. When you wake up on a planet and you're taken from your bed and then you just wake up and you're abducted by aliens, it's kind of scary. So come on. It's not like she meant to do it. And so when she's there, she meets this giant moussaka, which is what these guys are from the Ice Planet Barbarians, these big blue aliens. And she meets this guy, this Juten guy. And he is an assassin, but he is in the prison there. And when he sees Chloe, he's like, that is my mate. That is mine. I am keeping that one. So they're on a planet that is uninhabitable and it's hard to escape. Okay, so this is Planet Zero and it's by Lydia Hope. So this is about Addie. And Addie is on a spaceship with a crew, and they're heading to another planet to go do, I can't remember what they were going to go do. It's been a little while since I read it. And her spaceship crashes on this very primitive planet. It reminded me, when they were describing it, it reminded me of like being in the Peruvian jungle, like being in the Amazon, in the rainforest, and just crash landing in the Amazon rainforest. And she is the only survivor. And when she's on, like when she gets out, she is using primitive means to make herself food, to survive on this planet. And she comes across this guy that she finds there. His name is Zork, and she tries to befriend him, and he has been injured, and so she nurses him back to health, and using these primitive methods and these things that she has, she tries to heal him. And when he's better, he takes her back to his village, and he's very standoffish with her. He doesn't quite trust her, even when the village takes her in and starts to trust her. He still doesn't. There's just something about her that she's an outsider, and that's what it is. So this is a very primitive situation, but as they get to know each other, he really starts to depend on her. But there's more to the story than just what meets the eye. Like, why did they crash? What happened? There's just so much more to the story than that. But this is their story. It's definitely a primitive situation, like I've said a couple of times. But I really liked it. It was different. It was a different alien romance story. So that was my last one. Can't tell you much more than that. So, all right. What are you gonna do?
Okay, I am gonna read Heat for Hire.
Okay.
No?
Oh yeah, no, I'm excited for that one.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna read that one. Well, I thought about the Prison Planet Barbarian because I've read Ruby Dixon before, so I know that I will like that. And then I thought about the Kay Webster one too. But I thought, like, if I truly wanted to experience something a little different and actually like immerse myself in this alien world, I need to pick somebody I haven't read before.
Did you look up how long they were? Is that
no. Why are Ruby Dixon and Kay Webster a lot longer?
I think that Ruby Dixon is shorter.
Oh, no, and then you've talked about Heat for Hire too, and so I've just thought that would be a good one to read.
Okay. I am dying for you to find out about the penis.
Oh, great. I should have written that down.
Yep. All right. Okay. So we'll check back when you finish reading it.
Yes.
I'm dying. I can't wait. Okay, Mandy. You picked one of the wildest ones, and it was also a megaverse, so I'm just dying to find out.
This book was like the weirdest thing I've ever read.
This is awesome. Okay. Well, it's a megaverse too. I told you there were weird appendages. Weird appendages.
I know. I think I understand why I'm not a huge fan of like sci-fi or fantasy or alien stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is because I have I was an only child, so I had to play by myself. I had a very good imagination. I can freak myself out like there is no tomorrow walking out to the barn at night.
Oh no. Do I owe your husband an apology? Will you not go anywhere near him now?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying I have a very good imagination. But for some reason, when I read descriptions like this, I have my ideas become quite wild. And I just don't know that I fully grasp what the author is intending things to look like, because this alien was pretty crazy in my mind.
So for people's future reference, when you read this, if you go to VK's website, she has graphic drawn graphics of what this was.
On her website?
You have to go in, I think you have to sign up for her newsletter. You have to confirm that you are 18 or older, because they are not safe for work. But she does have them, or she did have them at one point. I would screenshot them and send them to you. But remember, I use the same Apple ID as my daughter, and I don't want that.
I'm looking right now. Yeah, you can't get in anywhere.
I'll have to get them to you somehow.
Okay.
Because
anyway.
I'm sure you pictured quite the situation there when she's describing his otherworldly wiener.
So anyway, it was weird.
I knew
And
you were
then the whole like going into heat and all of this stuff, it was just really bizarre. And I would be reading, and all of a sudden I would be like so sucked into what was happening.
uh-huh.
And then something happened, and so I had to put the book down, and then I picked it back up and I started reading again, and I'm like, oh my God, this is just so corny and crazy. But once I get a few more pages down, I would be so sucked in again.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to kind of immerse yourself into this universe to quite like, and you have to kind of stay there. Otherwise, you're like back to thinking that it's crazy. But I mean, the writing's great. It's not a hard read, even with how crazy everything is. So I rated it a 4.
I'm surprised. Okay.
It's
Because
not.
you really did. You pulled something that was like it was a twofer. You got Omegaverse vibes and Alien.
So are all Omega verses like this? Where there's like nesting and like the guy like purrs and looks at her and she's like
and nodding. Well, unless they're a really uncool author and they write it without the nod, because then that's not cool.
But the knot is part of the Omegaverse. Yeah. And then his name, it looks like Yada in the book.
Something like that.
He clearly has feelings for that other girl that runs one of the shops. And I'm like, dang it, now I have to read that book. But it doesn't look like that's the next book. So does he have a book?
I don't know. She's written a couple, I think, in that series. At least I know there's one more, and I just haven't gone back to it. What did you think about the mastectomy stuff, though?
I liked that. Mm-hmm. I thought that was written well based on my limited experiences through your experience.
Right.
How she felt self-conscious, but he also had some defects too. Mm-hmm. But together they just loved each other. Like they didn't, well, I don't know if they loved each other at the beginning. They were just like, it didn't matter. It was their own insecurities that did not matter to each other.
Yeah. No. So I know she's written at least one more in that universe. We'd have to look it up. She writes very quickly, but she writes has a couple of different series going on at one time.
Oh, so interesting.
She's pretty good at that. So yeah. All right, guys. So that is Aliens for you. Mandy picked the weirdest one. All right, so that's all that we have for you guys. Let us know what your favorite alien romance is in the comments below.
And if you have any ideas for future Convincing My Bestie, leave those in the comments as well. And make sure to check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us.
Until then, we'll see you guys in the next video.